In this latest Season 3 update of Apex Legends Mobile, a ton of gameplay mechanics were tweaked and changed, nerfed or buffed, and the same thing with guns. A lot of guns got a bunch of huge balance changes and adjustments, and so because of that, I wanted to bring you guys an updated top 5 weapons list in Apex Legends Mobile. But before we hop into the list, I gotta give a huge thank you to EA for sponsoring today's video. Starting off the list, we have some honorable mentions. These weapons are good in some particular situations, but all in all, you wouldn't want to be caught using them for the entire game. The first honorable mention on this list is going to be the Sentinel or the Longbow. These snipers have been solid through and through since the launch of the game. However, with the added bullet drop these snipers possess, and each gun requiring you to land multiple shots in a row on average on an enemy to down them, it makes them only really good in one situation, and that is high level ranked gameplay. This is due to the fact that you're able to farm evo points for your shield through landing shots on the enemy without needing to worry about getting the knock. It's all about chipping away at your enemy's shields while building up your own. So all in all, they're fun snipers to use, but are practical in only a few situations. Coming up at number 2 on the honorable mention list is the Prowler. Now, this weapon could have found its way squeaking into the top 5 if not for the fact that its most important attachment, the Select Fire attachment that turned this burst weapon into a fully automatic weapon, was removed from ground loot this season. And additionally, the Prowler was also removed from ground loot this season as it was instead put inside of the airdrop. If you're lucky enough to open up an airdrop and you're greeted with the Prowler, take it. The weapon won't disappoint as this full auto beast shreds through enemies and will leave you with a smile on your face. The number 3 on the honorable mention list is the RE45. Now, the RE45 is my off-spawn weapon of choice if I'm not able to find a suitable AR or SMG. This pistol has an insane rate of fire, allowing you to mow down your enemies in record time if you're accurate. The downside is the magazine size is a bit small, so you'll find yourself reloading quite often. But in the latest Season 3 update, the RE45 can now equip, I believe it is the hammer point rounds, dealing more damage to opponents than before. However, after the first few minutes, I usually make sure to find a replacement for the RE45, but you can't go wrong with this weapon off spawn. Now, the last honorable mention on the list is going to be the Spitfire LMG. This weapon was introduced last season, but it quickly became one of my favorites with the massive ammo capacity it has and honestly the decent fire rate. All you really have to do is point and shoot as the Spitfire will do the rest. It's very easy to control and has the ability to knock down multiple enemies in just one magazine. Its damage per second isn't great, which is why it goes in the honorable mention spot. But if a gun this good is in the honorable mentions, just wait till I show you guys what weapons made the top 5. Now, with this top 5 list, I have run this by a few professionals and content creators in the Apex mobile scene to make sure that it is accurate and represents the current balance in Season 3. So the order of these weapons is honestly subject to your personal opinion and your playstyle, but all of these weapons are definitely top 5 in the game right now. Starting off with the number 5 spot, we have the Volt SMG. This SMG has been a favorite of mine since the soft launch. Although it's labeled as an SMG, at times it feels like it could double as an AR with just how much range it seems to have. The Volt's major downside is that it's an energy weapon, meaning it'll be harder to come by ammo and attachments compared to that of a light or heavy weapon. Even without any attachments, this thing shreds up close and keeps up that same energy at mid to long range. It's rightfully earned its spot in the top 5. Coming in at the number 4 spot, we have the R99. Now, you all might be shocked to learn that I've placed the R99 at number 4, but due to the recent balance changes, it won't be as dominant as it used to be. In the latest update, your ADS bullet spread, meaning how accurate your bullets are when you're aiming down sights, is drastically worse when you're jumping and using a lot of movement, and this was the R99 strong suit as your mobility with this weapon is simply unmatched, allowing you to jump, slide, and dash around your opponents with ease. But now it's not so smart to do this. Regardless, the R99 still has the highest damage per second of any weapon in the game, so you'll be able to demolish your enemies just fine. Moving on to the number 3 spot, we have the Flatline. I've slowly been using the Flatline more and more over the last season, and I feel like with the meta changes I just discussed, this weapon fits perfectly in the middle of the list. While it's not the best assault rifle in the game on paper, it sure is close. With the abundant amount of attachments that you can find for this weapon on the ground or in crates, you can quickly upgrade the Flatline to become a low recoil beast. This has nothing to do with the performance of the gun at all, but it also happens to have some of the best skins in the game, in my opinion. Now, coming in at the number 2 spot, we have the Peacekeeper and or the Mastiff. Basically, the only weapons not affected by this latest jump spam nerf were the shotguns, which is why they find themselves so high up on this list. The Mozambique is not included, well, because it's the Mozambique, and same for the EVA 8. The Peacekeeper and the Mastiff have such similar statistics when it comes to damage and fire rate that it really comes down to your preference. The Mastiff has a wider spread of bullets and a faster fire rate, so if you're a faster paced player, this will probably suit you. Whereas the Peacekeeper has a slower rate of fire and a tighter bullet spread, which means you need to make every shot count. The benefit is, with these weapons, you can jump and bounce around all you want without having to worry about your accuracy being impacted. I'm pretty terrible with shotguns at the moment, so if you guys are like me, I suggest you get practicing. And to absolutely no one's surprise, or at least I hope so, the R301 comes in at the number 1 spot, as it is by far the best gun right now in Apex Mobile. It's been dominant since the launch of the game, and nothing has changed, and I mean literally, as the R301 is yet to have received any balance changes over the course of the game. And although this isn't me saying it should receive any balance changes, I'm just saying it's like really good and also really fun, so please don't nerf it, Apex. The R301 has the second highest damage per second in the game, but what it has that the R99 doesn't is range and ease of use. Without any attachments, the R301 is an absolute laser beam with almost zero recoil, allowing you to torch targets from over 100 meters away without a problem. Once you get some perks equipped to this bad boy, then it's game over, as recoil becomes a thing of the past and you'll be breezing through your enemies. If you happen to see an R301 on the ground, it's important that you drop at least one of your guns and pick up that R301, and you guys can thank me later. I hope you all enjoyed this top 5 list. If you did, make sure you go and drop a like so that all the people out there can see it and make sure they have the right knowledge to get the dubs in Apex Mobile. Once again, huge thank you to EA for sponsoring today's video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.